Good morning. This is Mr. William, West Virginia. It is the 25th day of May, and I thought I'd just share a couple quick thoughts. I shared a video from last year for the morning. There may be like a whole bunch of videos today because I'm just feeling really inspired. I just got back from a trip to College Park, Maryland to see my son Jeremy's only child graduate from that great university. It was a great time. We spent some time together eating and fellowshipping and laughing and giggling and just having a blast. And I had some firsts on this trip. I got to ride in an Uber for the first time. I got to ride in a BMW for the first time. I'm 64 years old, and I don't think I've ever been in a BMW. It was pretty cool. And I had some green fried tomatoes, and and I got to be at the University of Maryland. And we had a tornado scare while we were there. It was really, it was exciting. I mean, I wasn't a bit worried. Um, and you know, I got to take my two new truck on a trip, and it was just a blast to be in a vehicle that I wasn't worried about breaking down. It was really cool. What I wanted to share was that I had some thoughts this morning, and during the trip, there's things I'm still trying to process so I can articulate them correctly, and maybe even put together a couple words to preach. But this morning on the way to church, I went to bed early last night. Woke up early and decided to go to church and pray for a little bit. Got there, and on the way there, I saw a Hardee's sign, and I forget what it was talking about. It was talking about a sandwich or something that was coming back, and it made me think about the fact that Jesus is the only being that's ever been on this planet that died, but yet lives, who left us, but yet said he'd never leave us nor forsake us. So he's still here, and he's coming back. I love the Lord, and I follow to the best of my ability, stumbling the whole lifetime. I've stumbled the whole lifetime following after Christ. It's almost like a tragic comedy. My life is, and yet God has blessed me so much. The trip that I had, I got to be with my son Jeremy and his family and his wife and her family, and there were some firsts for them because some of them had never met each other, and it was just a great time. Um, and what I want to share with you all is that life is short. Some of us have been privileged to live longer than a lot of other people. And so every moment I spend is not about recording stuff. I didn't record hardly too much. I mean, I took some pictures while I was there in Maryland, but for me, a 64-year-old man, I tend to watch. I tend to look. I tend to record everything in here. And maybe that's why Alzheimer's and a lot of things are more prevalent, is that we've gotten away from watching and enjoying moments and recording them here and in here rather than on a video machine that we're probably not even going to look at later. I watch people recording the graduation. I watch people doing all kinds of recordings. I watch people record all kinds of things, and I always think, why are you recording it? You're missing the moment. You're missing recording it with your eyes, your ears, your senses, and your mind. I dare say that if Jesus was walking the streets of this world right now, people wouldn't be bothered to listen to him, to get it in here. They'd be recording it because it's Jesus and we've got to record it for posterity. People, we got to stop. And we got to start experiencing things. Start being in the moment. One of the neat things about this weekend was I got to spend part of it with my middle child, Sierra, and we always seem to go on a road trip somewhere in May, or we end up spending time together, and I always love being with her because she's so inspirational. She always has something really cool that she's thinking about, or something that she's heard that's inspirational. And I want to tell you something. I heard something that was such an epiphany for me at the graduation. And graduations usually bore me, but I paid attention to this one guy who was close to my age. He was 66. He was a doctor. He had went to the University of Maryland. He had a successful business, and they asked him to come back and speak. And of course, you know, with those kind of speakers, they're going to talk about themselves and how they graduated and what they went on. But he came to one part that when he was sharing with the graduates that I hope they understood. He said, you're going to come to a fork in the road at different times in your life, and you're going to wonder which road is the right road. And this is where the epiphany came. He said, just take a road. Just take one. Just pick one. Don't make the mistake of standing and not picking. Take a road, because you'll eventually get where you're supposed to get. And it was really biblical because Romans 8:28 says, "For we know that all things work together for good to those that love God, to those who are the called according to his purpose." Which means you can take any road you want. He's going to make it come back to where it needs to come. Or he's going to make it go exactly where you're supposed to be. Take him with you when you take that fork in the road. When you come to that fork in the road, just make sure God is with you, and hopefully you won't make the wrong turn. But if you do, I've done it. I've taken the wrong road more than I've taken the right road. And you know what? He always gets me back to where I'm supposed to be because he's a good God and he loves us. And that's my time for now, okay? Hey, I love you, but more importantly, God loves you, okay? Take a road, all right? Shalom.